Dr. Jordan, let's do some math. Let's review law of sine and law of cosines. All right, so starting here, we have a nice pretty triangle that is not correct as yet. It's PQR, so triangle PQR. We have PQ is 19, angle R is 85 degrees, and then we have side PR is 13. And what the first thing we want to do is we want to solve for it. First, got to figure out we're using law of sine or law of cosine just to figure out what we're going to do first. I want to solve for everything. So I want to solve for QR, angle Q, and angle P. I have a side, I have an angle, I have a side. So that's pushing me to law of sine. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my 85 degrees, and I'm going to say, all right, what is opposite of my 85 degrees? So I'll do sine of 85. I will put that over 19, and then I'm going to solve for QR for right now. So I can do sine of, sine of X over 13 because I don't have that angle yet. So solving that angle, what I'll do it that way, and I will start there first. All right, so then we're going to cross multiply. So do 13 sine of 85. There we go. 13 sine 85. That's crossing here. And same thing, I'm going to cross right there. That's going to give us 19 times the sine of X. Then we're going to get rid of that 19 by dividing it. So divide our 19s there. Those cancel out. And we have 13 sine of 85 over 19 equals the sine of X. What I can see there is I'm going to get about 0. That is 68, I want to say. And then we'll go to 1/6, and that's going to equal our sine of X. But we still need to get sine by itself. So we're going to inverse that sine. So do sine inverse 1 equals, and that is approximately 43, there we go, degrees. All right, 43 degrees is going to be right in that angle Q. So this angle right here is 43 degrees. So now we have 43 and we have 85. So with those two, we can now find this as being 52. Found that by, of course, adding together 43 and 85, or excuse me, 43 and 85, and subtracting that from 180. That gives us the total for 52 because all triangles equal 180 degrees. So once we have that, now only thing we need to solve, or let's look at what we have solved for. We have 19, so PQ, we have PR, but QR is still not there, and we do need to solve for that. So let's solve for QR now. Now at this point, we can use the same thing, honestly. We can use that sine of 85. I'll push this up just a little bit, there we go. The sine of 85, we can put that over 19, and then we can do again, this time sine of 52, because we just found that. So sine of 52, we're starting with this angle, and we're going to solve for this X right here. So what we're doing here, sine of 52 over X, same thing. We're going to, again, cross multiply. That's going over there. Sine of 85, or X times the sine of 85, and then 19 times the sine of 52. Once I do that, I can now solve for my X and just skip a few steps just to make everything easy because I'm also running out of room. So of course, to get rid of this, I would divide sine of 85 over here, divide sine of 85 over here. That will give me 19. I'll put that in there. The sine 85, 19 times sine of 52 over the sine of 85. I will put that into my calculator with parentheses like that. And once you do that, you'll have that X equals, that is a regular number, 15. And that X here is our QR, so that equals 15. So there's that full problem worked out. We started with the triangle PQR, and that triangle we had 19 for Q and P, or PQ. We also had we had 85 degrees, and then on the 85 degrees, you also had a 13. So now that you have that information, you are able to find everything for that full triangle. So good job, everybody. I'm sure everybody got the perfect right answer the first time. All right, let's go do another one. We'll throw one in that has the law of cosine, and then we'll call it there. All right, let's draw this triangle out. Let me see. Let me find a good one. There we are. All right, this one looks like it should be law of cosine. So let's get that in there. Got a nice pretty X there. And then we'll have F, then we'll have a 13. This will be G, 7, H. And then this one is 136 degrees. All right, let's go through this one. We'll go a little quick, but we're doing the same thing. So we're solving for everything. We need to first figure out what type. We have side, angle, side. That's going to push me to law of cosine. That's why I picked it. So let's solve for that. We're solving for side. So let's put our first thing in. X squared equals 7 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 7 times 13. sorry, put my parentheses, and parentheses threw me off, cosine of, and that's 136. 36. All right, now that we have that, let's just go ahead and run everything through. We'll do x squared equals 218 minus 182 times the cosine of 136. Those numbers just coming from 7 squared plus 13 squared to give us that, and then 2 times 7 times 13 to give us that 182. Then we have x squared equals 348.9198. I'm going out 4 decimal places just so I can be as precise as possible with this one. Take the square root of both sides. So square root, x equals 18.7. That is perfect. That 18.7 is going to be for the side HF, because this is what we just solved for. So now we have this. We still need to find angle H and angle F, however. But of course, like we said before, we find one, we find the other. So let's just do this one. We can do sine of 136, because we definitely have that. And then we just solved for that side itself. So we can do sine of 136 over 18.7. We can say that equals, and let's see which one we want to use. Let's do sine of, 13. That's the easiest one, obviously. We can solve for h. So sine of, and I'll just put y just for h being y. All right, let's make it easy. Let's make it h. Sine of h over 13. All right, now that we have that, let's solve for this one the same way we solved for the first one. We're going to cross multiply 13 times sine of 136, and then we have equals 18.7 times sine of h. For this one, dividing both sides by 18.7. So I'm gonna put my 18.7 over here. And once I put my 18.7 over here, of course, those will cancel out. So now that I have that, it's 13. And I said before, putting everything in parentheses, and that's sine of 136. Now that I have that 18.7, I have 13 times the sine of 136 divided by 18.7. And if I have that, I could then say sine of h equals, let's see, I think this is 0.48 going out to 29, and then I take the inverse of that to give me 28.9. Now I have that 28.9, that's going to be my h. This is 28.9, and the last thing I have to do to solve for the last one, add those two together, subtract from 180, and that gives me the f is 15.1. So there's everything solved for that one. That's 2 different ones, one using law of sine completely, the other one using law of cosine and law of sine. 2 very good ways to work those problems out. Those are your triangles though. So take a look at those, practice some more, do as many as you can, and we'll work on some more in class. Just a quick thing to look at though, I do want you to just want to say this one so you can have it if you want to try to work it by yourself. This triangle is triangle HGF. H and G is 7. And then G and F is 13, and then angle 136. That's what we started with. All right, good luck. Bye.